Hello, Tamara Green here for A Course in Miracles, lesson number 138. We're going to open up the shoulders, stepping back a little bit to, like a bicycle, move our arms and open up our shoulders. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Open up those shoulders. That's good. All right. Lesson number 138. Heaven is the decision I must make. In this world, heaven is a choice because here we believe there are alternatives to choose between. We think that all things have an opposite, and what we want, we choose. If heaven exists, there must be hell as well, for contradiction is the way we make what we perceive and what we think is real. Creation knows no opposite. But here is opposition part of being real. It is this strange perception of the truth that makes the choice of heaven seem to be the same as the relinquishment of hell. It is not really thus, yet what is true in God's creation cannot enter here until it is reflected in some form the world can understand. Truth cannot come where it could only be perceived with fear. For this would be the error. Truth can be brought to illusions. Opposition makes the truth unwelcome, and it cannot come. Choice is the obvious escape from what appears as opposites. Decisions lets one of conflicting goals become the aim of effort and expenditure of time. Without decision, time is but a waste and effort dissipated. It is spent for nothing in return, and time goes by without results. There is no sense of gain, for nothing is accomplished, nothing learned. You need to be reminded that you think 1,000 choices are confronting you when there is really only one to make. And even this but seems to be a choice. Do not confuse yourself with all the doubts that myriad decisions would induce. You make but one, and when that one is made, you will perceive it was no choice at all. For truth is true, and nothing else is true. There is no opposite to choose instead. There is no contradiction to the truth. Choosing depends on learning, and the truth cannot be learned, but only recognized. In recognition, its acceptance lies, and as it is accepted, it is known. But knowledge is beyond the goals we seek to teach within the framework of this course. Ours is teaching goals to be attained through learning how to reach them, what they are, and what they offer you. Decisions are the outcome of your learning, for they rest on what you have accepted as the truth of what you are and what your needs must be. In this insanely complicated world, heaven appears to take form of choice rather than merely being what it is. Of all the choices you have tried to make, this is the simplest, most definitive, and prototype of all the rest, the one which settles all decisions. If you could decide the rest, this one remains unsolved. But when you solve this one, the others are resolved with it. For all decisions but conceal this one by taking different forms. Here is the final and the only choice in which is truth accepted or denied. So we begin today considering the choice that time was made to help us make. Such is the holy purpose. Now transform with the intent you gave it, that it be a means for demonstrating hell as real, hope changes to despair, and life itself must, in the end, be overcome by death. In death alone are opposites resolved, for ending opposition is to die. And thus salvation must be seen as death, for life is seen as conflict. To resolve the conflict is to end your life as well. These mad beliefs can gain unconscious hold of great intensity and grip the mind with terror and anxiety so strong that it will not relinquish its ideas about its own protection. It must be saved from salvation, threatened to be safe and magically armored against truth. And these decisions are made unaware to keep them safely undisturbed, apart from question and from reason and from doubt. Heaven is chosen unconsciously. The choice cannot be made until alternatives are accurately seen and understood. All that is veiled in shadows must be raised to understanding, to be judged again, this time with heaven's help. And all mistakes in judgment that the mind had made before are open to correction, as the truth dismisses them as causeless. Now are they without effect. They cannot be concealed because their nothingness is recognized. The conscious choice of heaven is as sure as is the ending of fear of hell, when it is raised from its protective shield of unawareness and is brought to light. Who can decide between the clearly seen and the unrecognized? Yet who can fail to make a choice between alternatives when only one is seen as valuable, the other as a wholly worthless thing, a but imagined source of guilt and pain? Who hesitates to make a choice like this? And shall we hesitate to choose today? We make the choice for heaven as we wake and spend 5 minutes making sure that we have made the one decision that is sane. We recognize we make a conscious choice between what has existence and what has nothing but an appearance of the truth. Its pseudo-being, brought to what is real, it is flimsy and transparent in the light. It holds no terror now, for what was made enormous, vengeful, pitiless with hate, demands obscurity for fear to be invested there. Now it is recognized as but a foolish, trivial mistake. Before we close our eyes and sleep tonight, we reaffirm the choice that we have made each hour in between, and now we give the last 5 minutes of our waking day to the decisions with which we awoke. As every hour passed, we have declared our choice again in a brief, quiet time devoted to maintaining sanity. And finally, we close the day with this, acknowledging we chose but what we want. Heaven is the decision I must make. I make it now, and I will not change my mind because it is the only thing I want. So 138 is heaven is the decision I must make. All right, let's get clear about the delineation between heaven and hell. So the truth is there's no opposite to heaven, because heaven is all there is, which is love. Fear, hell, we make our own hell. It's not a place we go after we die. We're literally creating hell with every fear-based decision, every fear-based action, every fear-based thought. We are creating our own hell. And as we've learned in the previous lessons, when we're over-identifying with the body and seeing through the eyes of the body in this world that needs to be protected and fear of any threat, then we are creating our own hell, even before we die. However, when we keep reminding ourselves that who we really are is heaven itself, which is love itself, which is how God created us, which means it's how it is God itself, then we realize we come back to the truth of how we were born into this world as knowing for a fact there is nothing to fear, that all there is heaven, but we've just been seen through the eyes of our fear-based ego that believes we need to be protected, and there's things out there to fear, and there is nothing to fear except for fear itself, right? So the choice is always heaven. Even if your mind can't really grasp this concept, which it probably won't, right? No, I have to focus on, protecting my family or making sure that all my plans are lined up so nothing goes wrong. No. You just keep reminding yourself that heaven is the only decision, which means love is the only decision. I guess another way of saying this is when you're trying to decide something, some kind of action to take or whatever it may be, and the main question to ask yourself, is this decision that I'm making coming from a place of love? Is it for my highest good, which also must be in everyone else's highest good, everyone else involved, their highest good? Because if we make a decision that we think is in our highest good, but not in anyone else's highest good, like maybe you're doing something in a relationship and not, keeping a secret, maybe, right? If you're keeping a secret, it's not only in that person's highest good that you're keeping the secret from, but it's also not in your highest good. Cause and effect, right? So make decisions from a very heavenly place. If it's in your highest good, it has to be in other people's highest good as well, in order for it to be a good heavenly decision. Oh boy, but this is what we're here to really unlearn, that there really is such thing as hell to fear. There is nothing to fear. But it's going to take us time to, or more, not time, but recognition, because it can be instantaneous. It takes the repetition of, there is nothing to fear, I choose heaven. I choose heaven. In this moment, in this decision, I'm choosing heaven. I choose love. I choose God. So it's a practice. Like everything else, it's a practice of saying it and acknowledging it over and over again. Okay. Wishing you an abundance of heavenly love in your day today. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.